Are you solo at Cetane? Like, is it just you? Like, as far as like from an ownership perspective?
Yeah.
So, I was like that forever. So taking on like a business partner, it was like, oh, like Andrew, you've like run your business for so long for this way and that way, like, and I'm like, yeah, but like, Brett is like so on the technical side, and I am much more on like the front end of the business and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like we did such a good job like dividing lines in the sand, and yeah, occasionally I'm like, hey man, like I'm gone, like he has to like deal with something, or like I'll try to deal with something on like the super technical side, but like, man, like I couldn't have really asked for a better business partner. Like he's very, very smart.
No, that's something I'm very interested in. I think I'm a younger guy. I think I've got a long career ahead of me. I'm not in this for 5 years and out. We all want to retire, but I started at Cetane end of 2019, employee 6. We were a small team then. Everything was humming. When Steve sold the business to me in 22, we were at 11, and now we're at 25. And so I've kind of been through a lot of that growth. I've seen it done when Steve was the owner, and then a little more since I've taken over. And then kind of right to what you said, I know what I'm good at. At the end of the day, talking to people in sales is my kind of kingdom. That's where I survive, and that's where I really thrive. I think what I realize is what we're trying to become right now is we have a great team. We have awesome people. We have a really great team. How do we become a great organization? And you can be a great team when you're 6 people. Expense reports are easy. But as you grow and as we continue to get into some other industries, how do we become a great organization? And I think what I have realized is I need some help. At the end of the day, there's some people that are better at different things than I am, right? We all have our skills. I think I always joke with my wife, I read to learn. I watch movies for fun. I don't like reading fiction. I read to learn, and a lot of stuff. I like doing old history. I like kind of reading the new business books as well. But a lot of it is do what you're good at, and great kind of leaders, great business owners, great operators actually give other people stuff.
Delegation.
Exactly.
Dude, you have to delegate. And I think that it's so funny you said that, because, and not that the teams that work with us, our especially our executive high level teams that work with us are not bought in, but when you have an ownership stake, you take shit a little different. Like because decisions are affecting like your bottom line, and bottom line is attached to your compensation and my compensation. So we make decisions a little differently, I think, as owners versus, like I said, even higher ups. I think.
We have a ton of great people that have been with us for a long time, and I think everyone wants success. But you're right. Like, it's funny now. 25 people, bigger number, but times that by 3 or 4 because they've got spouses and children, and so we're really taking care of a large amount of people, and it does kind of weigh on you. I don't sleep as good as I used to. Just because.
Yeah, you see all this stuff?
Yeah. I'm trying to keep my
It's a lot. All right, I got a question for you, and I feel like I'll answer it as well. But I'm curious because, you're in the merger acquisition business, right? And we're seeing a lot of consolidation in our industry, especially, over the last 5 years, And what we're also seeing is the passing of the baton to, the next generation, and stuff like that. Okay, let's forget the dealer side for a second. Let's talk about the vendor side. Do you think that do you think that some consolidation or acquisition needs to happen for the vendors in our industry? And by our industry, I'm talking, I know you're in a bunch of other ones too, but like the industry I'm referencing is, the fuel industry.
Yep. So it's funny, I think a lot in us too, right? Cetane has competitors. I consider us a vendor for the industry. I think healthy competition breeds excellence. I think you can't have one or two, because then we have monopoly situation, and that doesn't and honestly, I think there wouldn't be as much innovation, right? When you look at a lot of the software providers, I think there's kind of 5 out there, without saying names, that I really consider kind of top in class. And then with that, I would say there's really 2 that stand out from my perspective that do above and beyond. They can access reports. They're leaning into more technology. It's 2026. We should be able to have iPads that kind of can route everything at this stage, and you need to get your employees comfortable with all this new technology, but some are doing a lot better job than that. Is acquisition the way to go, potentially, that maybe some of those best in class can get new customers that way? But I do think, like, at the end of the day, we don't need 50 vendors in each kind of segment of the businesses, but I think having 4, 5, 6 is healthy, and it's going to just breed excellence. I love that we have competitors. I think a lot of people do a lot of great job in what we do as well, but I think it makes us better. If I lose out on a deal to a competitor, it's like, well, what could we have done better? What can we do to enhance our ability, our knowledge? How do you connect better? And it's always a good lesson. I think we do a pretty good job of getting folks in, but I do like it.
Good, great.
What would you say?
I mean, I share the same opinion. The only time I don't really fully agree with you is when there's not best in class being put into it. You know what I mean? Like push me to be better, but and if you're not, and you're going to take it the other way, now you're hurting this industry that I love so much, No, that's the only thing, and just being transparent and honest, I'm in the marketing side, right? And it's tough because marketing is probably one of the most fast-paced things
ever changing.
And when you think of marketing and maintaining that pace and maintaining all of these AI integrations and all of the things that go into being really good at marketing, it's like, is everybody going back to school? Is everybody watching the podcasts and going on to the online seminars, or are they still just preaching the same old bullshit? And it's that's what, and again, I know our silos are a little different in the industry, but for me, it's frustrating because it's hard enough to sell yourself. It's hard enough to get new customers, but then you're combating stuff that
bad practices.
You're like, wait a minute here, what?
Yeah.
And that's again.
Of course, you run into that.
Yeah, that's where I get frustrated, and not that I get frustrated necessarily. I just it's like you said it when you first started the question. Healthy competition drives innovation. I love that statement. That's what I want, but I don't feel like I'm getting it.
Yeah.
Is it crazy to say I want some competition?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that way, at least, we're not getting to shine light on some of these awesome things we're doing because people are like, I don't even know what that is. And I'm like, huh?
How do you not know this?
How do you not know this?
It's not talked about because competitors aren't talking about it probably,
and they
right?
it's not even on their radar.
I'm hyper competitive. I always say it's my blessing and my curse. It's, I think, gotten me to where I am, but I know that I can obviously take it a little too far just because I love to win.
I can't wait for us to get on the golf course. I cannot
Well,
wait.
you're going to, unfortunately, that is a place that I can't, I know I can't beat you. I need to spend a lot more time. My goal, I'd really, really like these simulators, and I want one in my backyard.
Just be careful hitting off the mats too much because mats, it bounces the club up and it makes it feel like you're making these flush swings. But
and then you get on the course.
Yes, exactly. And you're like, whoa, that doesn't feel the same way.
So Houston, we're at 95% humidity every morning, and if you get that 7, 8 a.m. tee time, it's soupy. And so I'm just going right under, and there's no mat to bounce me up.
Yeah,
so,
gotcha.
No, I just need to swing more, though. Unfortunately, I just don't get to play a ton. I wish I could.
We're going to try to fix that.
Love it. I do think, one thing to note, when you asked about the vendors, but I have a lot give a shit always. Oh, Cetane's selling more of our businesses. Cetane's selling more of our businesses. And I always want to say to folks like yourself and others that this is an opportunity. Get the buyer as a customer because they just are probably 5 times as big as the one before, right?
That's where I am.
Yeah,
and
focus
also,
on that.
we just fired up 2, and we have a 3rd brand new propane company. Like, they haven't even delivered. One hadn't even delivered a gallon of propane ever in their entire life. And so, like, there's new companies coming in too. It's not like, I don't think, like, when we say consolidation, like, yes, for like the existing companies, but new guys are coming in and being like, oh, we'll get in the fight. Like, they see opportunity here. I wouldn't say so much on the heating oil side, but propane, yes.
Yeah, and I mean, we've seen a lot of financial interest too. Private equity is getting very interested in the propane industry.
Yeah.
A lot of the banks, commercial banks, are really liking lending to the industry because you have, in a lot of cases, there's a lot of tanks at people's houses that the company owns, so you have a lot of collateral that you can kind of fall back on. So the banks are loving it. It's a utility-based business, right? I think as we see this war in Iran going on and prices going through the roof, propane a little less impacted than heating oil. Luckily, I think the customer typically feels like that's a macroeconomic thing, right? It's Trump's fault or whoever's fault you want to blame it on, but it's not my propane company, my heating oil company's fault. Unfortunately, it's like when you go to get gas, right? If it's $5 or $3, you're not like, this Shell, this Chevron, it's their fault. They're charging me $7 margin, whatever it is. You're like, oh, it's because oil's at $100 right now, which we're down.
Yes, we are down.
Which I'm happy about. I'm in Houston, so
I'd love to get back to like 82, 84 would be really nice.
70.
I mean, just as a starting point. All right, so Barrett, I always end these with whoever I'm chatting with can ask me anything, personal, work-related, industry-related, business-related, whatever. If it's personal, though, it has to be like at least above the belt. So, fire away.
I think it's got to be golf because I feel like that's how we connect. So I think my question to you, twofold. The first, do you like going to watch tournaments, professional? And then second, what do you think is the best course that you've played?
So yes, I like going to tournaments to watch them, but I like sitting in like the big corporate booths where there's air conditioning and food and private bathrooms.
Well, and then you have a seat.
And I have a seat and stuff like that.
It's hard to walk.
Yeah, and there's so many people that go to tournaments now. It's like if you don't get across the fairway when they let that first pass go,
you
don't get to
see. For 10 minutes,
now you're stuck and you're missing, and then you start to fall behind. So my thing is, when I go to tournaments, I was at Waste Management this year, we just kind of picked 3 holes, you know what I mean, to kind of float back and forth with, and then we were up in the Consolidation, suite and stuff like that, which was great. We got to get invited to that.
On 16?
Yes.
On the party hole?
Yes.
Awesome.
It was unbelievable. It was awesome. My favorite golf course that I've ever played would have to be Dunbarney out in Scotland. I was fortunate enough to go with 7 other guys. We played 10 straight days of golf, and we played every single amazing golf course there. Played golf all over the world, but I would say, and I played really, really good that day too, so that probably helps.
Oh, it always helps, right? I will say I'm blessed on this. I do elevate my game, it seems like, when I'm at the nice course.
Yeah, because I don't look like an ass. You know what I mean? So I totally
agree
with that.
Friends.
Yep.
Maybe you're betting.
Yeah.
So
of course.
There's a great place in Texas, Lajitas. Have you heard of this?
I've heard of it. Yeah.
It's essentially, I think you have to fly in. They have this private light airline called JSX that I think there's a flight from Dallas, flight from Houston once a day. They take your clubs off, put them on the cart. They've got a box lunch for you when you land at noon. You just start golfing, and you play once Friday, you play 2 rounds Saturday, and then you play and pack your suitcase Sunday morning. You have an 8 a.m., play around, and go straight to the plane, and you're back home by 2. It's awesome.
I mean, that sounds amazing.
You're right on the Mexican border. So there's a hole that you can hit over the Rio Grande into Mexico. So everyone tees up and does that.
That's awesome.
It's a cool spot, though. I think my favorite, have you played Telluride golf course?
I have played Telluride. I like the mountain courses are amazing. You know who also has a great mountain course is Stowe, Vermont. Has amazing mountain course. But I've played the Telluride course. That was fun.
The back 9 is on the slopes. So you're hitting with the chairlifts all around and just like crazy elevation changes. So I really like that one a lot.
The ball also goes a country mile when you tag
I'm
one.
Stronger.
Barrett Conway from Cetane Associates. You're buying or selling your business. This is the man. Barrett, thanks.
Andrew.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
cheers.
this is awesome.
Good.